Hi guys, and welcome to my vlog. I thought I would give you a bit of an update on what I've been up to since Craft for Crafters. It's not a huge amount because I suffered with a heavy cold, so if I sound a bit nasally I do apologise, but I'm feeling much better today, so I thought I ought to get something out for you. The light, you'll see I'm a bit bleached from this side today, and it's because it's really raining outside, so I've got an extra light on here. I've had to pull the curtains because otherwise I think, you know, I look like I've died or something. So I'm hoping that you'll be able to see everything that I show you today. So I thought I would go through first what I've been knitting on, what I've finished, and then oh no, actually before that I'm going to show you a couple of things that are going up in the shop by way of a small shop update this week. It's not a huge amount, it's leftovers from the show, so I haven't really dyed anything new this week, but I thought I would share them with you. So let's get cracking with those, shall we? I'm going to start off with some Aran weight. I've got a skein of Embers on Aran. It's looking a bit bleached out, but if you hop on over to sarahstexturecrafts.com you'll be able to find it there in all its glory. And that's a variegated colourway which is really nice, so hope you'll enjoy that one. And then also on my superwash Aran I've got Chai, which is a tweed effect or a speckle effect if you like, so that will give you a nice variegation in short bursts of colour as you knit up. Then I think, oh yes, I've got a skein of Colour Pansy, which is a variegated colourway on a superwash Aran, which is 100% BFL. Again, you'll be able to see the colours much more clearly at sarahstexturecrafts.com. And then the rest are 4-ply, so I've got a skein left of an older base, which was my barber pole base, and this is in colour pewter. So I don't know whether you can see that, but there is, you'll be able to see it much better in the picture, but it will give you like a really nice mild effect when you knit it up. You might be able to see it from there. It looks quite mild and sort of speckled in its greyness, and that's lovely, really beautifully soft. I've got a few skeins of Elegant, my Elegant base, which is in the colour Native Turquoise, which is a bit deeper and more splendid than that looks. Patch wanted to say hello, I think. That's an overwash dye technique, so it will probably come out a bit speckled with these bits, but the base will be this kind of turquoise colour. From there I have a few skeins of Ilfracombe, which is a variegated colourway on my superwash sock base. And then I have one skein left of Finest 4-ply, which is my beautiful superwash Falkland Merino in colour Final Frontier. So again, you can see that's a tweed effect, so there are lots of speckles of colours running across the skein there. So some of those just have the one skein, and others like this one, and I think the Chai in the Aran weight, have a number of skeins on offer. And then I've also got a luxury lace base that I was trying, which is 70% superwash merino, 20% silk and 10% cashmere. I think I've got about 4 skeins left of this, and this is in colour rose, and that's £16.50 per 100 grams. So I've got about 4 of those, and then the rest I have are mini skeins, which are in 2 colours: Harlequin, which is sort of a tealy blue through to a damsony colour, and then you've got gold at the end, and then Boom, which is yellows and oranges mixed with blacks, and that's a real kind of comic book Boom colour. So again, looking a bit washed out, that's probably closer to what it looks like back there. So that's everything that I have for you going up in the shop. I would love to have had more, but it's just, I just wasn't feeling up to getting into the dye room. It's just been so cold as well that it's really not made me feel like I've wanted to. So I'm just going to run and pop these back, and then we'll go through what I've been working on. Okay, so I'm working on a couple of things at the moment. Literally haven't really had the energy to work on much else. I've kind of got 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 maybe things on the go, but I've really only been working on a couple. So I'm using a little Star Wars wash bag as my project bag today. And I am using West Country Spinners, and that's a skein of their colour Kingfisher, which is a lovely sort of striping and variegated colourway. So that's West Country Spinners, and I don't even know whether you'll be able to see that, but those are the details there, the colour number. But if you go onto their website, West Country Spinner, or anybody else who sells West Country Spinner signature yarns, it's their signature 4-ply, you should be able to find it as colour Kingfisher. Okay, now I seem to have caught my yarn in the zip. Don't know quite how I managed that, so we're going to have to play this one by ear to see how it goes. But yeah, I'm knitting the pair of socks, so that's kind of what they look like, and this is for Darren. This is his thank you very much for helping me at Craft for Crafters pair of socks. He gets a pair of these pretty much for every show, so he's doing all right on the sock front. But as you can see, I've turned the heel and I'm working my way down the foot now. Really nice colour. I haven't done anything fancy with a different heel or anything. As it's self-striping, I probably ought to have done an afterthought heel or something like that allows me not to get a disruption in the stripes at the front, but Darren doesn't mind, and to be honest, this is my default kind of sock pattern, and I will happily knit this without even looking. So when I'm not feeling well, this is the kind of pattern that I stick to. Also helps me concentrate on the TV as well. So I've been watching quite a few series on box sets and things, so yeah, default sock it needed to be. So I've been working on that, really enjoying it. And then the other thing I've been working on, which is in a bag by Alex. She doesn't make bags anymore, but I've still got a few of her bags for sale in my shop at sarahstitchercraft.com if you fancy. But this is one I bought from her pre-Halloween, I think maybe a couple of years ago. Loving it. And despite its small size, I actually have a full-size shawl in here. I'm working with 4-ply, and this is my standard sock 4-ply base. And as you can see, I am very almost finished. It's just going to be a sideways, well, it is a sideways shawl, but it's going to be quite a big shawl and a new design for me at Sarah's Texture Crafts. So you'll be able to find this on Ravelry when I've finished, and on the website, and I'll show you more of that when that's finished. I'm enjoying it, just haven't really had the energy to knit on it, I think, has been the thing. Try and tuck that away. It's quite nice working with a nice 4-ply, because it means that you can squash it up quite easily, but you can also use a nice small bag to hold it all in. So I'm just going to bend out of frame because I've lost the last of my yarn. I'm playing a bit of yarn checking, and I'm gonna lose totally. I'll show you. I have that much left. There is absolutely no way I'm going to finish the shawl with that, so I'll have to break into a second skein. But I've got I sell mini skeins in this this weight, so it's fine. I can just use one of those and finish that off quite nicely, I think. So poke that back in there. So those are the two things I've kind of actively been working on, and then I'll show you what I sort of finished. I would say recently is not strictly true, but certainly you haven't seen me knit these. I think over Christmas I had a bit of a splurge on knitting socks and cows, so this was one of my cows. This is in colour, my colour Peacock, on my Aran weight, and it's for my spiral cow, which is a pattern that I've got on Ravelry. And if I pop that on for you, you can see that not only is it a nice, really nice cowl, but I can also hook it up. I made this one deliberately longer so that I can hook it up over my head, and it's just really nice when it's been so windy this year, that when you get the wind in your ears, you get a bit painful and you feel cold inside, so it's quite nice if I can just hook it up over my head while I'm walking the dog, and wear it like this around the house and feel like I've got some kind of squishy blanket on. So I enjoyed knitting that, and that was very quick. As I say, I extended the pattern for this one, but it was very simple to do. Default socks, I'm going to struggle to remember what the yarn was for these, but I bought the yarn, it's a commercial yarn I bought from loveknitting.com. I think it was a German brand. Sorry, I meant to keep the ball band, so I'm a naughty podcaster really. But yeah, I just needed a bit of brightness, so these are as acid as they look. So you've got that kind of acid pink and green, punctuated with a purple, and then this kind of teal colour. I love them. They look really small, but they actually fit me perfectly. So I can't wait to wear those. I also finished, and these are by, and I'm going to have lost have I lost them? Right, hold on a minute. Clearly I'm still getting used to having full brain function after a cold. The yarn for these socks that I knit for Darren, and these were his, I think I started knitting them after Stitch Fest last year, and I finished them off over Christmas. I just didn't get a chance to show you. It's yarn that was gifted to me by the lovely Caroline from Crayoline.nl, and I'm hoping that will focus. There we go. Those are her details. And she dyes yarn like this. Beautiful sock when it goes into focus. There we go. Hello. Yeah, focus. Like these beautiful socks. And she makes stitch markers, and she's also a glass bead maker, so she's like a glass blower. So when I showed you the card, you will have seen these beautiful, the glass bead there. And it was lovely to meet her as well. I met her at Stitch Fest, and so when I came back I really wanted to start knitting on that yarn. And as I say, these are for Darren. Standard sock, but really nicely dyed, so thank you for that yarn. It's gone to good use, and it feels so soft, so I really enjoyed those. And then finally I knit these up ages ago, and I really meant to do a whole podcast and review on them, and I didn't get a chance, so apologies to Jenny from Owl About Yarn, who you can find at owlaboutyarn.com. I bought, I think it was back at, it was Wonderwall Wales last year, and we did a swap, so I'm almost a year late on this. I'm so sorry, Jenny. I bought a set of your gradient dyed sock bundles, and so I decided I was going to do a really long pair of socks using those and trying to make as much use of all of the gradient as I can. And I did put several posts out on Instagram on my Yarn Sampler account, where I showed these being knit up. Now this isn't a fantastic colour sort of representation of those. They match almost perfectly, so wonderful. Really wonderful, really wonderful to work with. And I only have that much left of each ball. So I'll try and find those pictures and take a insert a picture in there of how those looked when they were knitting up. The same with these as well. I think somewhere I've got a picture of the yarn as well, so I'll have a look and see if I can insert that. But thank you, Jenny. These are a pair of socks. I haven't got heels in them. I've got toes. So I'm probably going to wear these as house socks. And I totally don't care how long they are. In fact, I love how long they are. They've actually become a really nice pair of sort of slouchy socks. I've only worn them once, but I'm going to wear them again. I know that some people are like, oh, well, if you haven't got a heel in them, then you're going to get a heel mark eventually. I might do, but do you know what? Jenny still dyes yarn, so I can always get some more if I need another fix of her gradient sets. But they were really enjoyable to knit, and actually, bizarrely enough, as long as they are, I thought I would get a little bit bored with, you know, just stockinette knitting all the time. But I think because the gradient exists, they were just really fun to knit. So thank you, Jenny, and I apologise once again for being a bad podcaster and not mentioning them sooner on the podcast for you. But I do recommend her yarn, and I enjoyed it very much. The last mention I wanted to give was to Yarn and Craft, the lovely lady at Yarn and Craft, who let me see if I can. There we go, you can find her there. We came across each other at, well, we've been in touch online, and she came across me at Craft for Crafters, and so she gave me some stitch markers. And more than just those cute little stitch markers, she gave me these as well, which I'm going to take out of the packet, because these are just awesome and so me. Got a little chocolate lolly. You see him? I've got a little piece of chocolate there. There we go. And then a really cool slice of cake. Aren't they fun? So I'm going to use those on a future project, so thank you ever so much for those. I was spoilt, honestly, I was spoilt. I guess that's it today. I don't think I've got anything else to show you, because nothing's really at a stage where it's sort of possible to see what it might become, and also I have not really been giving anything else any love. So the last thing I'll mention today is just to remind you to come see me at Wonderwool Wales. So it's coming up soon, towards the end of April, and there's going to be lots to see and do there, including me. I'll be in my usual spot up the back of Hall 2, so if you wander up to the smell of food, I shall be up along that back wall section right at the end of that hall. Needless to say, that's a great temptation to work around food constantly, but yeah, I shall be there. And I'll have lots of exciting things there for you, including some bargains. Now that I've finished fibre, I'm going to be having a sale to get rid of the final few bits and pieces, but I may also take some of my fibre equipment with me, things like my blending board and hardly used carders, hand carders and that kind of thing. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, then come and check me out at Wonderwool Wales. Do subscribe to the newsletter over at sarahstexturecrafts.com beforehand, because I may put some of my bigger equipment up on there just to see if I can get rid of it, because I want to try and create some room. That's the thing, fibre and the production of fibre takes up so much room that when it comes to an end and you're not doing it anymore, there's an incredible amount of space in your home wasted. So I want to try and sort of declutter, as it were, but for all of this equipment and stuff to go to good homes, to go to people who really are going to make use of it, I could sit on it and wait for a few years and see what my allergies will be like, but in all honesty, I really don't know how that's going to work out yet. So I would rather everything go to a good home, and then if I do pick it up, I pick it up. If I don't, I don't. To be honest, I tend to spin from dyed tops anyway, so I don't really, you know, I do love spinning from bats, but that's more of a spindle thing, so I can easily just make myself some Rolags with my hand carders and things. So I don't really need my carder or my blending board. So I'm going to see if I can rehome them to some wonderful people out there. So anyway, that is it for me. If you can come on over to sarahstexturecrafts.com, I would really appreciate you buying up some of my shop update, and I still have skeins left over from Craft for Crafters. In the meantime, I'm going to get dyeing for Wonderwall, and I will catch you next time. So happy knitting, everybody. Cheers.